Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. If anybody's not aware of this is a journey of investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objectives try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video we're going to be looking at a new lawsuit against Tradestation where the plaintiff is seeking $40 per share and $50 per share in monetary damages. So for details of this new lawsuit, which could be huge for many members of the MMTLP community, stay tuned. We're also going to be looking at tick symbol ONMD, which was a huge call and was up approximately 360% on the previous week. So before we get started, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So first headline here from investing.com, we can see close of the week, Nasdaq ended at a new record closing high, and we can see on Friday it was up in excess of 1.1%. so overall good news for the market, and a lot of that was driven by Nvidia. And from Yahoo Finance we can see that the Fed's favored inflation gauge is highlighting a shortened trading week, so trading will be closed on the Monday. But the key thing to be aware of in terms of the upcoming week, as far as the markets were concerned, I think they do seem to be pricing in a 50% chance that the Fed does not cut rates in September, but also a 70% chance that was priced in a month ago. So the markets are fairly delicate right now. But let's now move on and have a look at what's happened with Nvidia. So shout out here to Holger, who's posted, good morning Germany, where all German stocks are now worth less than Nvidia alone. So we did cover this in the previous video. So if we look at the German stock market, the value is approximately $2.5 trillion. And Nvidia's value is now, at time of editing on the Friday, $2.62 trillion. So huge news there for Nvidia. And now let's have a look at a breakdown of the upcoming week. We can see here Monday obviously is closed. We have consumer confidence Tuesday. We have the first quarter GDP on Thursday. And the big one this week will be the jobless claims also on Thursday. And finally, huge week for earnings from Tuesday. We can see here a number of prominent stocks, including Dick's Sporting Goods. We also have C3AI, we have Costco, we have Dell, and we also have Best Buy, amongst many others. So I'll proceed to have a look at details of the new lawsuit, and what Mark has posted here is that we have just filed a major lawsuit. So let's have a look at details of this. And on the court listener page we can see here details of this lawsuit: Intercoastal Waterways LLC versus Tradestation Incorporated in the District Court of Florida. So we can see here in terms of the specific details, we have the plaintiff, which is Intercoastal Waterways. We have the defendants, which are Tradestation Securities Incorporated, plus 10 John Doe defendants, and we also have FINRA as well as the nominal defendant. So we can see here basically it's stating here in terms of the complaint is against Tradestation. It's also against the 10 John Doe defendants, and it's also against FINRA. So in terms of the specific details, I believe in this case there are basically approximately the 12 causes of action include rescission, failing to maintain physical and The 12 causes of action include rescission. They also include failing to maintain physical Nexbridge hydrocarbon shares, failing to comply with the plaintiff's entitlement order, Florida Racketeering, Influence and Corrupt Organization Act, as well as that looking at breach of contract, negligent misrepresentation, and also breach of fiduciary duty. I'd like to share with you a copy of the plaintiff's purchases, and these are ranging from December the 5th 2022 all the way to December the 8th 2022. So we can see here the total number of shares purchased were approximately 9,269, and the first example of the purchase here for 500 shares, and this was at price of $7.98, and a total purchase price of $3,994. And then another example on the 6th of December were 100 shares at $8.40. $1,544, and then proceeding on 1,525 shares at $9.90. So I think that looks like it was the highest price. And then we can see the last date, December the 8th, there were an additional 450 shares purchased by the plaintiff for $4,448 for a total price of $2,000. So the total amount invested by the plaintiff into MMTLP shares was $76,309.97. So that's the actual cost involved. So let's now look at details of the case. Moving on to section 140, and we can see here Tradestation, or we should say allegedly, in terms of an allegation, Tradestation has fraudulently and intentionally loaned out the amount of MMTLP shares for the to the DOE defendants, which I'm assuming would be the hedge funds, in excess of the amount of fully paid shares Tradestation held on record. So we know Tradestation has been proven to have a share imbalance, and that is what this case will be hopefully taking an advantage of. Moving on to 142, when the DOE defendants opened their short positions in MMTLP, the borrowed shares were sold into the open market for everybody else out there. 143, due to the U3 halt, obviously that was from FINRA, the subsequent delisting of MMTLP on December the 12th, 2022, no less than 2.65 million borrowed short and sold shares remained outstanding and not yet returned to the lenders. So the reason why we're using this 2.65 million is that's the official figure from FINRA. I'm sure it's much bigger than that, certainly in case of example of share imbalance. So I'm going to move on now to the sixth cause of actions, which I think are quite interesting. So section 149, and this is highlighting the dates between 5th of December and 8th of December 2022, where the plaintiff purchased approximately 9,269 shares through Tradestation, and then attempted to submit 2 sell limit orders, both being rejected by Tradestation's platform. And the first sell limit order was for 4,000 shares, and this sell limit order was $50 per share, highlighted there in yellow and red, and that would have given the plaintiff approximately $200,000. The second sell limit order was for 9,269 shares, and that would they were at $40 per share, and that would have given a total estimate of $370,760 in total. So obviously that didn't happen. And the other interesting point here is 152, because of Tradestation's failure to execute the plaintiff's sell limit orders of 9,269 shares of MMTLP, the plaintiff was unable to freely dispose of the shares, resulting in terms of monetary damages, no amount less than $370,760. I'm going to just quickly move on to have a copy of these sell orders. So we can see here, first of all, from the exhibit shared to the court, it states here you are selling 9,269 shares of MMTLP at $40 or higher, and we can see here from the screenshot the order failed, and the reason is EC404. So that is a reason from Tradestation, and they're also saying MMTLP is non-DTC eligible. So let's have a look at the other order, selling 4,000 shares at $50 or higher. Again, same reason, order was failed, and the reason is EC404. MMTLP is non-DTC eligible. So the good news here is obviously the plaintiff is backing up the statements and the allegations with the screenshots, so that's positive. Now let's move on to 156, and it states here Tradestation, contrary to its previous public statement, notified the plaintiff by phone that it could not and would not deliver physical Nexbridge hydrocarbon shares because it never sent physical certificates. It was never sent them by Nexbridge. So this is now the problem that Tradestation have, because they don't have the shares to deliver to the shareholders, because obviously they have an imbalance. So in other words, people are not getting Nexbridge hydrocarbon shares. They're not transferring with what was previously AST. And then 161 at the bottom, plaintiffs respectfully request the court award expectation damages in the amount of $360,370. If we now move on here to 170, the plaintiff has been financially harmed as a result of being deprived, and again is looking to regain possession of its NextBridge hydrocarbon shares, which is a belief they have a value no less than the $360,760, and request that the court award this monetary damages, compensatory damages, and any further relief. So that's basically the ask. If we move on now to have a look at 177, we can see here, as a result of a share balance was created. I don't think Tradestation are going to deny that, because that is more or less a fact. And under 178, the plaintiff has been injured and is entitled to award of damages against Tradestation pursuant to Florida common law. And finally, I'm going to share with you here the prayer for relief, and we can see here under sections A, B, C and D. First of all, monetary damages, we know the figure there, just in excess of 360,370, plus consequential damages, and section B, imposing an equitable trust on the plaintiff's 9269 NextBridge hydrocarbon shares, the profit Tradestation accrued since December the 9th 2022 as to the plaintiff's NextBridge hydrocarbon shares. And then C, it also states here awarding treble damages, attorney's fees and court costs, so that will be a big one. And D, awarding any other just or equitable relief as the court deems necessarily. So this is dated May the 24th, and this is from the Basile law firm in terms of this action. So in terms of the overall implications for MMTLP, as far as I can see, this is obviously a lawsuit brought by a single investor. It's not necessarily going to have a direct implication on everyone immediately, but I think it could certainly set a precedent. And if there is expected success in this lawsuit, I think the floodgates will open, and hopefully that will be positive news for everybody. If you have got copies of your sell limit orders that were rejected, certainly keep your screenshots, because we will be watching this case very carefully. And finally, I'm going to finish up by having a look at ticker symbol ONMD, also known as OneMed Net Corporation. And this is a stock that has had a significant run up in the previous week, in excess of 360%. And if we have a look at what happened in the Discord, we call this at $1.47, highlighting data from Fintel in terms of the short borrow fees. This was called when it was trading at around about $1.47, and a few minutes later we can see it hit $2.95. So it was going up very, very significantly in terms of the Fintel data. We can see here time of editing in the Discord, there were no short shares available. So and the other significant figure that we had is the cost to borrow. It was a significantly high 507.79%, and again a huge cost there. And then if we have a look at the other costs, so let's now have a look at the chart of the previous 5 days. We can see it did come down from that $2.96, and we can see it was still up in excess of 56% on the day on close of play on the Friday, also up in excess of 361% on the day. So congratulations to everybody who made significant profits in OMND. If you would like to get a copy of the next weekly watch list, as well as research and live trading discussions, details are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.